They didn't come. Not a single seat from my side was filled. White ribbons fluttered against the wind. The soft hum of violins carried through the garden, and all I could see were empty chairs. My friends whispered excuses. Some glanced at me with pity. But I didn't flinch. I stood still, my bouquet trembling slightly. Not from nerves, but from something colder. Then my phone buzzed. Mom, I thought. Maybe something happened. Maybe a delay, a flight issue, a misunderstanding. I answered with hope that still refused to die. Her voice cut through the music. "Sweetheart," she said, almost gleeful, "we're in Europe with your sister, Venice. You know how last minute she is." My lips parted. "You're in Europe?" She laughed. "Oh, come on, darling. You'll understand when you're older. Weddings come and go." Then my sister's voice chimed in, loud and careless. "Why bother showing up? She'll be divorced before the honeymoon's over." I didn't say a word. I just looked across the garden at the man waiting for me, Daniel, and smiled faintly. Then I took a photo, just one. Me in my white dress, standing next to my surprise guest. I sent it to Mom. Seconds later, her call came again. Then another, and another. I turned off my phone, exhaled, and began walking down the aisle. Daniel and I had met 5 years ago. I was the invisible daughter, responsible, predictable, the one who never made headlines. He was my client's son, a lawyer with a quiet intensity that drew me in. My mother adored him, at first. She said I'd finally done something worth their attention. But when my sister's engagement fell apart, everything shifted. The compliments turned to comparisons. Every success of mine became an insult to them. Still, I believed family mattered. I thought if I worked harder, loved deeper, I could earn it back. Until the rehearsal dinner. That night, Daniel didn't show up on time. Said he was handling last-minute calls. I brushed it off. Then his phone rang when he stepped away, and curiosity, or maybe instinct, made me look. The screen lit up. Mom. He came back smiling, too easily. "Just work stuff," he said, sliding his phone into his pocket. I didn't ask. But I started watching. The next day I found messages. My mother, my sister, him. They weren't just talking, they were plotting. About my prenup, my inheritance, my emotional dependency. They said, "She'll sign anything if you make her feel chosen." My stomach turned. My pulse didn't. That's the thing about betrayal, it freezes you first, then it focuses you. I didn't cry. I didn't confront. I studied. 2 weeks before the wedding, I called our family lawyer, the one Daniel didn't know about. I asked him to update the prenup. Quietly. A few signature swaps, a few clauses moved. Daniel never read the final draft. He was too busy rehearsing his charm. Then I called an old friend, Detective Rana. She owed me a favor from a case I helped close years ago. Together, we set up a quiet arrangement. By the time Daniel stood beside me in that garden, smiling for cameras, every financial string he thought he'd tied around me was already undone. But that wasn't the surprise. The surprise was the man standing beside me when I took that photo. My father. Not my biological one, the man who abandoned us when I was 10, but the man who raised me when no one else would. My stepfather, Colonel Hamid. The one my mother cheated on. The one she'd sworn she'd destroyed. He came back for one day, for this day, because I'd called him 2 weeks before, told him everything. He smiled at me in that photo, proud, calm, a silent declaration, "You're not alone anymore." After the ceremony, I turned my phone back on. 56 missed calls, 17 messages. From Mom, "What have you done? Why is he there? You don't understand." From my sister, "You ruined everything." Daniel's smile faded when he saw me reading them. He asked, "What's wrong?" I showed him my phone. "They send their love." He looked uneasy. The guests mingled, laughed, clinked glasses. I leaned closer. "By the way," I said softly, "you signed the wrong version of the prenup." His jaw tightened. "What?" I smiled. "The one that leaves you with nothing if the marriage ends before a year." He blinked, stunned, calculating. "And, considering what you were planning with my mother," I added, "it'll end much sooner than that." He tried to protest, called it paranoia, delusion, but his face betrayed him before his words did. He knew. The colonel walked over then, firm and silent. "I think it's time you leave, son," he said. Daniel hesitated, then walked away, slowly, defeated. A week later, my mother finally reached me. She didn't sound angry this time, just small. "He told you, didn't he?" she whispered. "No," I said. "You did. You just didn't realize how loudly." She cried. "I didn't. I told her the truth, the photo, the plan, the updated contract, the colonel. She kept asking why I'd embarrass her, why I'd turn on."